We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karne Shruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryajatra Stirairangaihi Stuštuvagam Sashtanobihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vriddashravaha Swasti na Bhusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdhadato Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying the commentary on Mundaka Upanishad by Swami Vidyaranya. In his text called as Anubhuti Prakasha, Swami Vidyaranya, a very great acharya, a teacher of Vedanta, gives his commentary on several Upanishads. And the chapter 6 of that text, called as Anubhuti Prakasha, describes Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad, Upanishad text consists of 33 verses. On those 33 verses, Swami Vidyaranya, the teacher, he writes 100 verses to describe what the Upanishad is trying to reveal. We have seen 96 verses, 95 verses. Today we'll start with the 96th verse, and we will complete this Upanishad today. What does the 96th verse talk about? It is a continuation of a person who has realized the truth of this world. Here in this verse, Swami Vidyaranya says that whoever knows this Brahman, whoever knows this reality, he himself becomes Brahman. Knowledge itself gives the benefit in Jnana Kanda. So that is the corollary we should understand. It is Jnanam. It is knowledge of the reality, of the consciousness itself gives the benefit, and one becomes free from identification, which is called as Abhimana. What happens if one really understands the Vedanta very clearly? That he says in the next part of the verse. In his kulam, in his fraternity, there will be all who will understand Brahman, because he will take the responsibility to teach others. That is what is said in the second part of this mantra. This particular mantra, the 96th mantra, is a commentary on the 9th mantra of the 3rd chapter, second section. That is the last section. And in that Upanishadic verse, it clearly says that if you know this reality clearly, you will cross grief. You will cross all types of sins which you may have committed in your life. And you will become immortal. See, so much is the promise given for this knowledge. Normally, we feel that we are all mortal beings. But then Upanishad view on who we are is not a mortal being, but an immortal being. See, so much of glory is mentioned about this reality. What is the knowledge? The knowledge is dropping the notion that I am a jiva. What is the definition of a jiva? A jiva means in this body, there is consciousness. This consciousness, if it knows that it is the truth, it is the reality behind the body, then it is called as Sakshi. But suppose this consciousness is getting reflected in the mind. And the mind with the reflection, which is called in Sanskrit as ahamkara, the ego or the jiva. So this reflection of the consciousness in the mind identifies with the gross body and says, I am this gross body. So Upanishad says, drop this notion in your mind. All the knowledge which we are trying to learn from the Veda is only for this dropping of the notion. Jiva Bhava Nivritti is Brahma Bhava Praptihi. The moment I say I am not the Jiva, automatically, who are you? I am the pure consciousness. And what is this pure? What is the Jiva? Jiva is nothing else, but it is superimposed on this pure consciousness. How do I understand superimposition? Take the example of dream. In dream, what happens? I experience a world. Where is the dream? It is superimposed on the waker. Similarly, the waker is superimposed on Brahman. This is the way I should understand this knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Vidya, my own higher state. In the Shastras, they give an example of Karna. Karna, in the battlefield, he always thought he was a charioteer's son. Now, he was not a charioteer's son, but he was a son of a Brahmana. He was a son of a very great person. Now, this person kept on thinking, I am born, I am not a Brahmana. You see, these are all stories which are said in the olden times. People had identifications with their Varna. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Shudra is supposed to be the lowest. Brahmana is supposed to be the highest. Vaishya and Kshatriya are somewhere in between. Now, the moment he comes to know that I am not a son born from a particular sect, but I am a very great son born in a higher sect. The person is the same. Radhe Putra is the notion which Karna dropped. I am Kunti Putra. I am Kunti's son. I am not Radha's son. So this adhyasa is nothing but it is a ignorance. The problem is ignorance. This is how they describe in the Veda. They say that we don't know our nature, which is a pure nature without the body, without the mind, without the world. Normally, you will think that it is impossible because I have never experienced something like that. Then the Upanishad says it is not a matter of experience, it is a matter to be known. That's all. It is knowledge. Suppose I see a rope as a snake, and then I get the knowledge when I put a torchlight, I see the rope clearly. Similarly, I have to take the torchlight of the Veda, Upanishad, throw the torchlight in my sleep state, and ask the question, who am I? Not in the waking state. In the waking state, you imagine that you are got up in your sleep state asking the question, who am I? Because in the waking state, it is very difficult for me to know my nature. Because my sense organs are reporting the sense objects. My mind is reporting all the emotions. So in the state of waking, I can only gain the knowledge that I am something different than this body mind. That is what the Upanishad is trying to reveal to us through its torchlight. And it reveals to me that I am not the Jiva with a body and mind. I am the Jiva, which is none other than Brahman. We have seen the description of Brahman in the earlier verses. Here, the mantra says, whoever understands the Mahavakya, that I am not the Jiva, I am the Brahman, I am the pure consciousness, he is a jnani, and therefore, in his surrounding, he will teach everybody else the same truth what he has realized. Etat vibodataha. He will teach, he will share his knowledge. That is what is said in the 96th verse. 97th verse, he talks about, Swami Vidyaranyana explains what happens to this jnani, the person who has the knowledge of the reality. He says, he expands on this benefit of this knowledge. He says, he transcends grief. Shokam tarati papmanam api. He will cross the sorrow. Why will he cross the sorrow? Because he has trained his mind to think, I am pure consciousness. I am awareness. He repeats this every single day. When you repeat this in your own mind, for you and me, what will happen is my ignorance, which is called as the knot in the mind, that gets released. All of us have this knot. Once we feel we are bound to this body because of the ignorance knot. And the moment you remove this knot through knowledge of Atma, what comes out, what the benefit you get is, you suddenly realize I am immortal. Suppose you all have this feeling that this nature of mine is not what I am seeing with my eyes, but some reality which my eyes cannot see, which is what is my pure nature when I am in the sleep state. See, in the sleep state, there is ignorance. What Upanishad says is, you drop that ignorance and say, who am I? Then what is the answer you will get? You will say there is no body, there is no mind, there is no world. But are you there or not? That is the question which the Upanishad is asking. This is the question in Mandukya Upanishad. Very clearly the student understands, there is something which is beyond the sleep state. And that is what is the description given here. Whoever knows this truth, he will never be born again into another body, which is called as Videha Mukti. He crosses sorrow because as pure consciousness, you don't have a body, you don't have a mind, but you exist. That is it. That is what is called as removing the knot in the heart. In the heart means in your intellect. You tell yourself, I am not this body, mind, but I am that pure consciousness. If you say this, does it mean I have to stop all my duties? No. Let the body continue all the duties. Let you play the role of whatever role you have to play as a mother, sister, father, brother, son, daughter, teacher, boss. Play all the roles, but only know that it is a role play. Like an actor, when he goes into the drama stage, he will play the role of a beggar, or he will play the role of a teacher, or a hero, or a heroine. But he, at the back of his mind, he will never forget he is that person, which is the reality. Similarly, Upanishad says, know your nature as pure existence, consciousness, bliss. Because in that state, there is no sorrow. So, therefore, Saha Shokam Tarati, he will cross sorrow. Sorrow and delusion, they go together. Whenever you're in delusion, you will be in sorrow because you're confused. Arjuna, in the second chapter, the first mantra of the teaching, Lord Krishna tells him, Ashochananya Shochaswan Prajnavadansha Bhashase Katasuna Katasunscha Nanu Shochanti Panditaha. What is the meaning of this sentence? You are grieving for those souls in the battlefield who are all Atma by nature. They are not the body, they are not the mind. They are playing the role of a soldier, like you play also a role of a Kshatriya in the battlefield. The wise will never grieve, neither for the one who is living, nor for the dead. Oh, this person passed away. For a moment, after the death, we will all feel sorrow of a departed soul. But if I have the knowledge, what is the knowledge I should have? Vasamsi chirnani yatha vihaya. Like a person changes his clothes, Lord Krishna says that person will change and get into another body. This is a person who doesn't have knowledge of Atma, Ajnani. See how Lord Krishna, right in the first sentence, he talks about grief, sorrow, delusion. All this, he will not be there. For whom? For a person who has got the wisdom. So, this knot of ignorance is the knot of my own wrong notion, which is called as adhyasa, superimposition, which we have to remove. We are going to study all Upanishads. We have studied, this is the second Upanishad. We have to cover 10 more Upanishads. In each of those Upanishads, the goal is the same. I have to tell at the end of the talk, at the end of the teaching, I have to tell myself. I don't have to tell all the people around me. If I am convinced, that is the fruit of knowledge. Body is anatma, mind is anatma. As long as I keep identifying with the body and the mind, I will be a samsari jiva. The moment I drop the identification, I am automatically in my swarupam. Many times when you sit down, when you are walking on the garden, or you're walking alone, or you're just sitting alone at home, suddenly you get a feeling, hey, am I missing something or am I full? Ajnani will think that he's missing something. So immediately he will go to his son, daughter, wife and start talking. A jnani will not think that he's missing something. He will say, I am in my own swarupa. When my mind is quiet, I am Atma. That is the realization. If I can hold on to that feeling, I am a Mukta Jiva. I am a free bird. If I can hold on to that knowledge throughout my life, the Upanishad says, you are truly blessed soul. The anatma will have spine problems, will have knee pain, it will have body pain, aching, it will go through some sorrow. But these are all the dharma of anatma, not atma. Dehi nityam avadyoyam, dehe sarvasya bharata, tasmat sarvani bhutani, natvam shochati marhasi. Very beautiful verse, 30th verse of the second chapter. See, the second chapter has got this section from verse number 12 to 30. Very, very important part of Bhagavad Gita. It reveals my nature, verse by verse. Lord Krishna says, you are Atma, you are Dehi, you are the indweller, you are not the Deha. Deha is the body, it is inert by nature. You are the consciousness, the sentient principle which makes this body alive. Not only this consciousness makes this body alive, the sentiency is all pervading sentiency. When I look outside, everything is existent. The tree is existent. The building is existent. So outside, it is called as Sat. In my mind, it is called as Chit. So in this verse, Lord Krishna says, the indweller in the of the body is indestructible. Nityam, it is always there. Anything which is, there is only one Nitya Vastu, it is called as consciousness. This name can be anything. It can be Sat, it can be Chit, it can be Ananda. These are all names, but they mean only one reality. That reality, if you keep on thinking, I am that, I am that, I am that, I am that. Initially, when you study the Upanishad, this knowledge is only Paroksha Jnanam. Oh, there is Brahman. But when you hear the Upanishad or the Bhagavad Gita 10 times, 20 times, again and again it comes to you in your mind. then the knowledge goes into your subconscious mind. And then you realize, ah, what a wonder. What a wonder it is. I am pure Atma. And the Upanishad gives beautiful descriptions of a realized person. He dances with joy because he is free. Akilaha. Whole creation is nothing but it is name and form superimposed on me, the consciousness, the awareness. If this is the truth, why should I worry about small, petty little things connected with the body, with my relations, with my children, with my house? Look at the vision of a jnani. The vision of a ajnani and the vision of a jnani, there is an ocean of a difference. And a jnani, how do I become? Oh, beautiful. It's all very nice to hear all this. But then, tell me, how do I become this jnani? All the seekers, they want to understand this truth. Therefore, they keep studying again and again till they are convinced. You see, each one of us has an intellect, buddhi. Our buddhi is the obstacle. The truth outside is the same. It is a truth. It is a reality. It does not depend on whether your mind is thinking correctly or not. A jnani has seen that truth because he has no obstacles in his mind. No doubts. Suppose I am there and I 100% accept whatever Mundaka Upanishad says, I am the consciousness principle. And you don't have any doubts, okay? Suppose your mind is very pure and you don't have any doubt. How will you live the whole life? Won't your life be peaceful? That is what is the description of a jnana. 98th verse. The wise, kriyavantaha, shrotriyaha, saguna brahma chintakaha. What does that mean? A person who has the knowledge, he will impart the knowledge to others. He will spread the Vedas and he will say, start meditating on Saguna Brahman. First, he will teach seekers and say, look at the world, look at the creation. Everything here is God only. See everything as God. That is what is called as meditation on the Lord with attributes. See, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, when you study, you understand what is God, how to see God as in this world, as the whole creation, who is the Jiva, who is the experiencer of this world, and what is this inert world made up of 5 elements. Very clear. This is what is Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Once I know all these 3 things, what will happen to me is, I will realize I am the consciousness principle. That is what is being said in this 98th verse. To those seekers who want to know the truth of the reality, to those seekers, the Veda teaches Brahma Vidya. That is what is said in the 2nd section, 10th verse of the Upanishad. A jnani can become a guru and teach, or a jnani can just sit in meditation and live his life. The choice depends on the jnanis prarabdha karma. Some jnanis will sit quietly. Some jnanis will build schools, will go around the whole world teaching, giving talks. It all depends on the prarabdha of that body-mind complex. Shrotriya. Shrotriya means a person who has studied the Veda. Not the physics book or the law book or the IT book, no. One who has studied these scriptures, kriyavantaha, he will not have just mere knowledge, but he would have practiced karma yoga, he would have practiced saguna brahma chintanam very rigorously, rigidly. And then what will one get? You will be soaked in the reality. And once you get that knowledge, you see the person who has got the knowledge will not stop. He will be flowing with that energy of that pure consciousness. And then he would like to transfer that knowledge to others. That is the Vedic tradition. That is what has been happening in the Vedas throughout century after century. This knowledge, what we are learning of Mundaka Upanishad, is not just been discovered 100 years ago, 200 years. They are 1,000 years old. These are all timeless. They have been coming from one generation to another. 99th verse, Swami Vidyaranya starts concluding his narration of Mundaka Upanishad. Angiras taught Shaunaka the knowledge of Brahman, which is the knowledge of the reality. What is the world? World is unreal. Compared to what? This consciousness principle. How should one seeker get this knowledge? Swami Vidyaranya says, go and prostrate to a guru who has realized this truth in his own mind. That is what Swami Vidyaranya says. How we all can learn the same knowledge which was shared thousands of years ago. See, the knowledge doesn't change because knowledge is the truth of what this creation is. Knowledge about physics can change. Somebody can say E is equal to mc squared. Somebody can say E is equal to something else. After 100 years, 200 years, some things will change because the intellect has found something different. But what is the cause of the intellect itself? Can anybody change? No. Cause of this, what? See, this world which we are seeing is nothing but 5 elements. But before the 5 elements, what was the nature of this world? Can anybody say that except some higher principle which is giving us this knowledge? So this is called as apaurusheya jnanam. It is not from a human intellect. It is the truth. A rishi called as Angiras taught this to Shaunaka, the student. And then Shaunaka would have taught to so many other people. That is what is the parampara. This Mundaka Upanishad is a dialogue between the disciple and the teacher, between the father and the son. Brahmadevanam prathama sambhabhova. Who gave this knowledge right in the beginning? Brahma, the creator himself. The creator himself gave it to his son, and then it flowed down as a parampara. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the second chapter, there are 6 chapters there in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. In this in the second chapter, fourth chapter, and the sixth chapter, a complete Rishi Parampara is given. Who taught who? Who taught who? Who taught who? The last verse of that second chapter, the last verse of the fourth chapter, last verse of the sixth chapter of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad gives 300, 400 names of teachers and rishis, students in this tradition of Brahma Vidya. All we can say is we can thank our own teachers who have brought this knowledge to our intellect. What is the ultimate reality? Satyam Brahma. The student offers namaskara to his guru. Oh, Guru, you have taught me something which is marvelous because it is so precious. I am full. I am Purnaha. I have fulfilled all what I want in this world. You prostrate to the Guru and then you leave the Guru as a free Jivan Muktaha. The last verse of this beautiful section, it says the knowledge of Brahman was explained to this student very clearly. I thank my Guru, Vidyatirthaha, who I consider as the Lord. And may my students be blessed with get blessings of my Guru, because I am the one who's transmitting this knowledge. So the last verse, which is the 11th verse of the third chapter, second section, it only says that I offer my salutations to the great sages of the past, because of whom only I am able to get this knowledge today. Because the student feels very humble. See, Brahma Vidya makes me very, very simple person in life. I don't have any more ego. My ego is gone. I get fulfillment of the bliss of Atma. Our mind is something which keeps disturbing us. But now, after this knowledge that there is an indweller in this body, which is called as Atma, which is the Chaitanyam principle, which I have come to know only from the study of Mundaka Upanishad and from a brilliant teacher who analyzed this so beautifully. I am truly blessed. That is the feeling of someone who has gone through these 100 verses. And here Swami Vidyaranya, the author of this text, he says, let the blessing go to all my students through this text of Anubhuti Prakasha. Anubhuti Prakasha consists of 20 chapters. It's a big textbook. It used to be available, but nowadays it's quite difficult to get this textbook. We have finished the 6th chapter of this Anubhuti Prakasha. The next Upanishad I am going to cover is the 6th chapter of Anubhuti Prakasha, which is the next Upanishad is the Keno Upanishad, which is the 19th chapter of Anubhuti Prakasha. It is called as Keno Upanishad because it starts with the word Kene Shitam. I will discuss that more when we meet next on the 11th of February. Next week, there will be no class. I will be taking a quick summary, the highlights. I just want to, before I close today, I want to just go through these highlights in the next half an hour. And then if you have any questions on this particular Upanishad, you can ask. And then we will break for, then we'll be breaking our study for 1 week. And hopefully we can start on the 11th, because I'm traveling outside Singapore. It will be next week on Wednesday. I'm out. I'm back only on the 11th. The day I'm coming back, we will have a class. What are the major points I should remember? Okay, we have finished Mundaka Upanishad. Suppose you want to revise this. In my notes, I have put some additional pages for a quick summary. First chapter, first section, first verse. What does it say? There are 2 means of realization. One, first of all, you should renounce all actions. Second, you should have the knowledge of Supreme Being. That is the first verse. Verse 3, 4, 5 is question and answer. Question by the student. O Lord, O teacher, teach me something by which I can know the entire truth of the world. Question is very, very important. To that, the teacher gives a Sankshepa Uttaram, a brief answer. What is a brief answer? There are 2 kinds of knowledge. One knowledge is called as Paravidya. The second knowledge is called as Aparavidya. Paravidya is called as higher knowledge of Atma. Aparavidya is the lower knowledge, which is Anatma. This Paravidya and Aparavidya are the topic in chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord Krishna has taken it from this Upanishad. Upanishad is always the source. Bhagavad Gita is borrowing the ideas of Upanishad. There also, if you compare, you will find similarity between chapter 7 and Mundaka Upanishad. Then a question comes to the mind of a person. Veda consists of Purva Bhaga and Anta Bhaga, Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. What is the relevance of Karma Kanda? Suppose, for example, take each one of us. We all come from a religious background. We do puja at home. And then here Upanishad says Jnana Kanda. Jnana Kanda means learn about Brahman. This portion, the Upanishadic portion, is the Veda Anta, the end portion of the Veda. But what happens? Why should I continue these rituals, or can I drop them? The answer is continue the rituals, continue your puja, because they give purity of mind. Once you have the purity of mind, then the Upanishadic says, you are Brahman, you are Atma. Your mind will say, yes, I am Atma. Suppose my mind is not so pure. The teaching is the same, but your mind will throw doubts. Your mind will not keep quiet. your mind will start questioning, oh, this is all, something has been said 10,000 years ago. How can I take it as a truth? But suppose your mind says, no, no, I have faith in I have shraddha in the scriptures. Then you start having joy in the Vedanta. Verse number 11 starts giving description of this Brahman. Very important verse. In the whole Mundaka Upanishad, this verse and another verse which I will tell you are the two most important verses for contemplation. See, whenever you study an Upanishad, you must note down 2 or 3 verses, which you should connect, that your mind should be able to connect Kaivalya Upanishad with Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, Mayi Sarvam Pratishtitam. Consciousness is something from which the whole world will come. It is sustained by consciousness. It goes into consciousness. Similarly, Mundaka Upanishad, Adreshyam, Agrahyam. This consciousness is not comprehended by the organs of knowledge. Very, very important fact which you have to digest. See, you may hear it once time, but your intellect should understand the meaning of this. The meaning of Adreshyam. It is a powerful word. Drishyam means experienced by the sense organs. Adrishyam, not experienced by the sense organs, is this consciousness. Suppose you sit in meditation and ask this question, who am I? And then you remember Adreshyam. One word, Sanskrit word. Meditate on Adreshyam. What is the meaning of Adreshyam? It cannot be experienced by the sense organs. You will come to Atma immediately. That is the beauty of this word. Contemplate. Take it as a challenge. You will come. The only problem is you can't hold on to that Adresya Vastu, which is the reality. Because again, the mind, because of prarabdha karma, it will start creating turbulence in your mind. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to go, I have to run around. All that is nothing but prarabdha karma, which is attacking your mind. Agrahyam. See, in 2 words, Upanishad is trying to tell us, drop all your sense organs of knowledge by the word Adrishyam. Agrahyam, drop all organs of your actions. Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas are not useful to me when I want to know who am I. That is the second word, Agrahyam. Agotram. Agotra means there is no lineage. Avarnam. Avarnam means it doesn't have any color. Achakshusotram. It doesn't have eyes or ears or nose because it is the reality. It is awareness. Apanipadam. It has no hands, it has no legs. But see, these are all no. Avarnam, Agotram, Achakshusotram, Apanipadam, Now it says, what is it? Positively, how will you describe it? Nityam. Nityam means eternal. There is only one eternal Vastu, in this whole cosmos. Always it is there. And Upanishad says, you are that. What a revelation is this? All of you, do you feel you are conscious or not? Is this consciousness going and coming? Body is going and coming, manifest in the waking state, unmanifest in the sleep state. But is your consciousness, which is aware of this body, is it changing or not? No, it is ever there. Waking comes because of the mind which has woken up. Sleep comes because the mind is sleeping. But consciousness is awareness. It is always there. That is what is being revealed here by the Upanishad. And that is the word nityam means it is always there. It is related to time. Anityam means it is not, it is perishable. Anything which is nityam means it is ever there. There is only one vastu which is always there, and that is Atma. You can call by any name. I know you can call it consciousness, you can call it awareness, you can call it existence. They all are referring to one entity. This verse 11, 12, 13, 14, they are the best verses for meditation. If you have done Mundaka Upanishad, you want to meditate on your own nature, take one of these words, sit down quietly, repeat that word 10 times during the meditation. In 10 minutes. This is the meditation I teach in the Wednesday classes. In the Wednesday session, I have always higher text, which is called as either I'm doing now Panchadasi. Last Wednesday, I finished chapter 4 of Panchadasi. Next, I'm going to do on the 15th of February, a new chapter I'm going to take. It is called Mahavakya chapter, chapter 5 of Panchadasi, Wednesday. In that higher text of Panchadasi, it is the most important chapter, consists of only 8 verses, but it deals with Mahavakyam of the Upanishads. Those of you who are interested can just join the WhatsApp group and listen to those talks whenever you can. Get the talks. If you're not free, it doesn't matter. Mahavakyam. Every Upanishad has got a Mahavakyam. The most important section of an Upanishad is Mahavakyam. And 4 Mahavakyams are being taken up in that 5th chapter of Panchadasi on Wednesday, starting 15th of February. Sarvagataha, Vibhum. Vibhum means it is all pervading. It is Sat principle, existence principle. Sarvagataha means it is not conditioned. See, we are talking about what? About Atma. About that Atma which is my real nature. It never changes. It is always the same. Whether the body is there in the in the sleep state or not, I am there. Similarly, when the body goes away, the mind goes and takes some other body. I am still there as consciousness. I will not die. Consciousness is immortal. And the Upanishad teaches me, I am that consciousness. Again and again in 12 Upanishads, we get the same message. What is the message? I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am the pure awareness. Can I experience it? Yes. Upanishad will give you the technique. Apanipadam, Avarnam, Agotram, Achakshusotram. These are the techniques to realize who am I. Then the Upanishad in the 16th verse talks about thought, which can be easily grasped, gross. Sound is subtle. It is difficult to grasp, but the self is the subtlest. Very difficult to comprehend with our mind. See, earlier it says that you can't comprehend with your organs of knowledge, the sense organs. Then it says you can't comprehend with you can't hold it with your organs of action, like your hands. You cannot say, I hold my Atma. I can't touch. I can't hold it. I can't feel it. Then it says you can't even know it through your mind. But then how do I know it then? I know it through the Upanishads. The Upanishads are the Pramanam. They are the eye. I use the eye of the Upanishad. Like Arjuna got a special eye to see the world in the 11th chapter. Divya Chakshuhu. Similarly, I get the eye of the Veda. Through that eye, I can know this Atma. It is the cause of this whole creation coming and going, experienced. That is immutable. And that consciousness, awareness, the knowledge of that is called as Paravidya. That is the sentient being. What about the three states of which I experience, waking, dream, sleep? It says it is just a Maya. It is a Shakti of that pure consciousness. That pure consciousness is Aksharam. Aksharam means it is never changing. It is imperishable. You know the cause, you will know the effect. The three states of consciousness, the three bodies, gross, subtle, causal bodies are only karyam, effect. But what is the karanam? Karanam is this pure consciousness. I know this cause. If I know gold, I will know all the chain in the world. The nature of the chain is nothing but the gold. The nature of the world is nothing but consciousness or existence or happiness. That is the nature of the world. But then why do I seize all these troubles in the world? This is Maya Shakti. That is the way the Veda describes. As you study these Upanishads, you will get a very deep understanding of this whole creation. Because the Veda is the only source of knowledge when it comes to the truth of the world. What are all the jivas in this verse? Second chapter, section 1. It says that the jivas are like the sparks. They are like the sparks. Each jiva is with an intellect. Why is the spark given here? Spark means it is a light. You can experience it. Similarly, our intellect is a light. That light of consciousness falls on our mind and it illumines my mind. All jivas are nothing but like sparks coming out from a fire. The fire is what? That Brahman. Spark is the jiva. Similarly, Brahman, the awareness, consciousness is the substratum for the entire universe. That substratum is called as Paramarthika Satya. Paramarthika Satya means what? it cannot be experienced with your sense organs. That's all. It is there. What is Vyavaharika Satyam? Whatever can be experienced by sense organs. So this 52nd verse of Swami Vidyaranya's Anubhuti Prakasha, it gives you the full description of how to understand this Atma. I'm not going through this, but I'm just telling you what is. It is a Bhuta Yonim. It is Nirvikaram. Nirvikaram means it is modification, without any modifications. It is a description of the Shakti, which is the Maya Shakti of that pure consciousness. The second mantra, which is a very important mantra of this Upanishad, is this second chapter, first section, second mantra. Divyo Yamurta Purushaha. What does it say? It says this, it again gives a description of this nature of mind. What is my nature? It is divya. It is divine. It is formless. There is no form. Anything with form will be destroyed. It is anityam. So if you are saying it is nityam, it has to be formless. So consciousness is formless. That is why it says it doesn't have a part. It doesn't have any body. It doesn't have any organs. It is awareness. It is both within the mind and also outside. Within the mind, it is in the form of consciousness. Outside the mind, it is in the form of existence. This is a description of the higher nature, which is called as Paravidya. And where is this consciousness? It is in my mind. In the heart. Heart means buddhi. And what is the nature of that consciousness? It holds the prana in this body. How long will that prana last? As long as the prarabdha karma of the jiva exists, the prana will be there in this body. But the consciousness, which is the support of this prana, is nitya, is always there. So that is how the Upanishad is so brilliant in its explanation of the higher nature called as Paravidya. It is this consciousness, this Atma Tattvam, which is appearing as the controller of the whole universe called as Virat. Virat is a name given to the cosmos with consciousness. Whole cosmos. It is that, you see, Virat, Vishwa, Virat, these are all technical terms described in Mandukya Upanishad. So when we do Mandukya, you'll have more discussion on this word Virat. Then in the 55th verse of this Anubhuti Prakasha, it says, know this consciousness not outside the body, but as what? As the witness of all your thoughts. Do you know your emotions or not? Yes, of course I know my emotions. I was angry, so angry about 2 hours ago. I was so compassionate yesterday. I went and helped somebody. I know all that. But how do you know that? Oh, that is, it is nature. I know it. It is not nature, it is consciousness. That is what Upanishad is saying. Sakshi. Manaha is, mind is Sakshi Pratyaksham. The world is seen by the sense organs, experienced by the mind. But the mind is experienced by what? It is experienced by Sakshi. That is how you should connect the world and the pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is changeless, always the same. If I hold on to that consciousness, it is the source of peace, security, and happiness. If I want to search in the world, where is the peace? It is in your own heart. But I'm not able to realize it because it is covered today by avidya. That is what is said in the 56th verse. Avidya, another name of avidya or is Karana Shariram, Mula Avidya. These are all the same names. A person doesn't know his nature as this consciousness. That is what is called as avidya. Okay, so I'm just highlighting some of the verses so that it tells you, see how deep is this whole Upanishad, yeah, and how Vidyaranya has brought this out. The entire Veda, Shankaracharya describes in one sentence. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Again and again, this sentence I will repeat in every Upanishad. Brahma Jnana Valli. In that text, in that small description of the verses, there are Brahma Jnana Valli. I think there are about 20 verses or so. It is there in my website. In one of the verses, this particular statement comes. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. I have given full, there is a video also available of that. You can see the website. Brahma Jnana Valli. Whole world is nothing but mithya. Mithya means it is experienceable, but it is not the reality. The dream is experienceable, but it is not factual. What is factual? I, the consciousness, the seer, the experiencer, the sentient principle is Satya. And the third part of the sentence, this Jiva, the indweller in this body, who is now thinking he is the body, he is the ignorant Jiva. Through the knowledge of Mundakopanishad, when the Mundakopanishad says, you are not the Jiva, you are Brahman, this Jiva, in ignorance, drops his ignorance, goes deep into his own nature and realizes, oh my God, how come I miss this? It is my nature, my Swarupa. It is the truth which the Upanishad is telling me. All my ignorance which I have lived in my life through birth after birth is all gone. By this knowledge of Atma Vidya, all my ignorance in which I lived so many births, it's all vanished. Then what happens? I am Jivan Muktaha. I don't identify with my papam, punyam, na papam, na shariram, na dukkham. I don't have any sorrow, nothing. This consciousness is my real nature. The avarna shakti, the covering which was there in the causal body is gone. I don't have that anymore. The jnani drops the identification with that ignorance, which is called as the sleep state. Ignorance is what? I went to sleep. Sleep what? Sleep means what? I was ignorant about my nature. So jnani, does he sleep or not? Physically, the body sleeps, but he doesn't sleep because he knows his nature as Atma. He replaces I am Jiva with the word I am Sakshi. which reduces the ignorance. In sleep, if I have removed the ignorance, I am a jnani. That knowledge, I am a jnani, is what? Only in the waking, not in the sleep. It is only in the waking you can say, I am a jnani. I know the truth of the Veda. I know what the Veda is revealing to me. So again and again, if I come to realize through the Upanishadic statements, the truth of Brahman, then what happens to me? My Karana Shariram goes away. Ego is not me anymore, but the ego has gone and Sakshi Bhava has come. Jiva Bhava has gone. Sakshi Bhava has replaced the Jiva Bhava. Adhyasa, superimposition is gone. I know my Swarupam. Okay, this is how you understand an Upanishad. You drop the Jiva Bhava, remove the ignorance which is there covering your intellect. Through the study of the Upanishad, cleanse your mind and become pure. Then the second section, the whole section, second section of chapters 2 is a Mahavakyam chapter. The whole second section is Jiva, Brahma, or Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam, which is what I'm going to specialize in the Wednesday classes from 15th of February. So that portion, what you are studying here is what is going to be repeated again in my Wednesday sessions. And see, all this is, I'm just highlighting some of the verses. All this I have already finished. But I just want to explain to you just a closure before you end the Upanishad. Just a revision what we have done is what I'm doing now. In the 58th verse out of 100 verses, there is a bow and archery example. Mundaka Upanishad is very famous for two examples. The bow example, which is the meditation on the word Om. Go back to this particular verse and see when you have got all the sessions. It is there on the website. If you want to have all the classes which I have taken, I've sent it to most of you. If you want it still, I can send it to you. You can send me a WhatsApp. All the classes till today, whatever I've taken, it's there. It's there in a folder. So this 58th verse talks about how to do Omkara meditation. I am the seeker. I am searching. Who am I? I use my thought as a bow, as an arrow. My thought is an arrow. I am trying to hit the target, which is, the target is what? Atma. I want to use my thought. What do? I chant Om in my mind. In my mind, not through the lips. When I chant in my mind Om, wherever that Om ends, that is Atma. From where that Om starts again, that is Atma. This Shankaracharya brings it out beautifully. The gap between two Oms, the silence between two Oms, there is a text. There is a text in which Shankaracharya describes this so beautifully. He says, keep watching that silence. That silence between the two Oms is your own nature, consciousness, awareness. This exercise in meditation is the simplest exercise in meditation. All of you can do it. It only needs practice. Keep practicing, keep practicing. You will get it. I give you guarantee. I have tested out with hundreds of students of meditation. All have benefited. You will get benefited. You will get the fruit of the spiritual knowledge. It is that nature which lends existence to the world. It is the highest form of existence in the world as Satya. That is the Upanishadic revelation. Okay, that's all described in 58th verse. This is the verse in the second chapter, second section, fourth verse. Pranava is the bow, Atma is the arrow. I've taken this just to revise where this comes, this example comes. The details of this Omkara meditation is found in Mandukya Upanishad. I have given you a simple description here. A-U-Ma, A-U-M, it stands for Vishwa and Virat. U stands for Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha. Ma stands for Prajna and Ishvara. Then you go through this Om in your mind. What happens is you're dissolving the physical world into the letter A. The subtle world you're dissolving into the letter U. The causal world of Punya Papam, ignorance, Maya Shakti, you're resolving into the alphabet Ma. When you chant Om, you remember the whole world is getting resolved in the sound Om. The silence which you experience is Atma, Turiya Atma, the fourth state. That is the beauty of 63rd verse. And this verse, of course, this is in Chandogya Upanishad. I keep telling you, this is the proof, pramanam. Pramanam for what? In the sleep state, I am with myself. I am Brahman. I am Sakshi. Where is the proof in the Upanishad? Go to Chandogya Upanishad, the 6th chapter, the Mahavakya chapter, 8th section, first mantra. It says, when a person is sleeping, he becomes one with Sat. So when I am telling you, you are Brahman, you are consciousness, you will see that, in the beginning of this talk, I said, but am I telling you from my own knowledge? Is it my own intellect which is thinking about it? No, it is from this pramanam. This is the source of what I say in the beginning of this class. I said, in sleep, you are Brahman, you are existence, you are in the waking state. I don't know what is this consciousness? What is this awareness? Can I experience it? Oh my God, you are experiencing it every day throughout your life, but you don't know that is your real nature. Really? Yes, that is your real nature. But what is this whole world of waking and listening to classes? Oh, this is all mithya. This is all Maya Shakti. It is another dream. But can this dream reveal the Satya Vastu? Yes. After my dream, I come to waking state and then I negate the dream state. Similarly, the waking state is negated. I know that I am Sat principle. Not because I am, it's not a thought in my mind. It is a revelation of an Upanishad, which is the right source to reveal such things. Whatever human intellect cannot reveal, it is you have to come to the Veda for these subject matter. Dakshinamurti Stotram, the sixth mantra, Rahu Grasta Divakarendra Sadrishaha, Maya Samachadana, Sanmatra Karnopi Samharanataha, Yobhut Sushupta Puma. The same idea which is there about sleep is there in Dakshinamurti in the sixth mantra. What does it say? On waking, when you remember who was in the sleep state, who was experiencing the sleep state, that principle is this Dakshinamurti, which is whom I am praying now in the waking state. Shankaracharya is very, 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 there's no Acharya, there's no teacher of this Brahma Vidya like Shankaracharya. There's nobody. He has written this. All this to help us realize the truth. The Purusha alone is the truth. Purusha evedam vishwam karma tapo brahma paramritam. When you know Brahman is the truth, it is called as Parokshanyana. You convert that Brahma Parokshanyana indirectly, you know there is something called as Brahman. You convert it and say, I am Brahman through the study of Mahavakya. Then what happens? The knowledge which is there in the scriptures will benefit you because you realize, Aham Brahma Asmi. In this heart, in this body-mind complex, there is Sakshi. There is Ahamkara, there is Sakshi. Ahamkara is the ego. Whatever the body is doing, it will say it is doing. It is something which is identified with the body and mind. I am Karta, I am Bhokta. I am Karta, I am Bhokta. Karta means doer. Doer means what? I use my organs of action. Bhokta, I use my organs of knowledge. Throughout my life, what am I doing? I am either a Karta or a Bhokta. Use my sense organs or use the organs of action. But it is not the truth. It is only a phase in the journey of a jiva. Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram yat payati samadbhavam yati nasyatra samshayaha. One of the best verses of Bhagavad Gita. One verse, if you want to remember in the Gita, throughout your life, even at the deathbed, is this verse. It says, when you leave this body and you remember me, you will reach me for sure. Reach me means what? You will reach that Nitya Vastu. These are all the spiritual gems which you get. So, bhityate hridaya grantihi, chidyante samshayaha. What happens is, when you get this knowledge and you assimilate this knowledge, what happens? Your ignorance about who you are goes away. That is a granthi. Granthi means it is a knot. Chidyante samshaya. This is coming from this Upanishad only. This is the verse. Look at verse 65. This is the meaning. Very important. Shankaracharya quotes this verse very often. Chit ahamkara. Chit ahamkara means what? I notion. I notion is what? It is a reflection of that consciousness in the mind. That reflection is snapped. Why does it get snapped? Because I am inward looking. Antarmukhaha. Shiyante asya karmani. All the karmas which I have done, all the punyam and papam, they all get destroyed like a roasted seed. A seed, if in order to germinate, you can sow it in the field. But suppose you roast it and then sow it, you will never have the germination. Similarly, my mind, which has got all the old impressions about I have to do this, I have to do this, I have this desire, that desire, I have to get fulfill this in life, that in life. In this birth, it doesn't get fulfilled. Again, you take a rebirth, again take rebirth, again desires come, again, what are you doing? Whole life is only a life of desire fulfillment. Again, body comes again. This is unending samsara. Maya Shakti, how it works, very beautifully described in the 66th verse. Hiranmaye pare koshe virajam brahma nishkalam. You see, Mundaka Upanishad again and again brings the knowledge of Atma in different ways. Here it says this consciousness is indivisible. It is one. It is non-dual. And it is the innermost sheath. You cannot go further than that. Keep on negating. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the happiness. Who am I? I am the Atma. But what is this which the body keeps on doing? Prakrte vacha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha yaha pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the chapter which reveals the Mahavakyam in the Gita. What does this verse say? It is Prakriti which is acting. The sense organs and the sense object is called as Prakriti, the nature. What is the jnani thing? It is a Prakriti which is acting. I am not acting. The one who sees this truth, that he is not the doer, he is the one who knows the truth. Okay? So, this is, I've put all these highlights, just I want to take some of these verses that these are all, okay, I'll just finish these 4 verses again. 68th verse, it talks about how the avidya goes. I will take extra 5 minutes today just to complete these highlights. So all the sanchita karma, that means all the baggage of the karma is dropped. Agami means the karma phalam which I have created in this birth, that also is destroyed. Prarabdha is also exhausted. That means for a jnani, till his body is alive, he is exhausting his prarabdha. But after the prarabdha is over, there is no more rebirth. That's what is said in the 68th verse. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. This is another mantra. It's very often quoted by Shankaracharya. It appears in 2-3 other Upanishads also. And there's a brilliant mantra to describe or to be in the meditation and understand what is this nature of Atma. There, my intellect cannot go, my mind cannot go, but it exists. How do I know? Through Veda. That is the meaning of this verse. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. This exact word meaning is given here. 2nd chapter, 2nd section, the 10th verse. The same meaning is given in the 7th mantra of Dakshinamurti. See, I'm giving you the if you know one verse of the Upanishad, you can see where Shankaracharya has taken that meaning from which Upanishad in the 7th mantra of Dakshinamurti Stotram. Dakshinamurti Stotram is the PhD of Shankaracharya's writings. In 10 verses, he will just give you the gist of the whole Brahma Vidya. 70th verse, all lights can illumine only Anatma. That means the physical lights. The spiritual light cannot be lit by anyone, but it can be illumined only by Upanishads. Brahma Vedam Amritam Purastat, Brahma Paschat, Brahma Dakshinata. This is a Mahavakyam of Mundaka Upanishad. Like you have Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Ayam Atma Brahma. These are all the Mahavakyams in different Upanishads. If you ask me, where is the Mahavakyam in Mundaka Upanishad? It is this mantra. What does it say? This Brahman, this consciousness is everywhere, in the front, in the back. It is this Brahman alone which is appearing as this Atma. So Atma is nothing but Brahman. There is a oneness between the Sakshi and the substratum of the whole universe. The 96th verse of the Upanishads of this Anubhuti Prakasha says, the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. Okay, so these were the highlights. The sixth, the Mundaka Upanishad, the Upanishad consists of 33 verses broken up into three chapters, and these details are given what is there in each of these sections. Some more highlights I have also attached here. I won't go through it. You can read it yourself. With this, I will conclude Mundaka Upanishad sessions in my Upanishadic program. The second Upanishad I complete today, titled Mundaka Upanishad. Next session, next week on the 11th, on the 4th of February, there will be no class. 4th is a Saturday. We will we'll have a break on the 4th because I'm traveling, I'm not in Singapore. I will be back on the 11th, and same day, evening, I will have the session. We'll start with Keno Upanishad. I'll probably take verse by verse of the Upanishad itself this time. Let's see how it goes. And if you have any questions, you can write to me. You can ask me now if you have a short question. Otherwise, we'll catch up on the 11th February. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaha Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. There are no questions in the chat box. So Shanmugam will unmute everybody. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. You can unmute yourself and ask me the question.
Sikaji.
हाँ बाबा बोलो.
Are we going to have a Brahma Vidya class sooner or later?
Brahma Sutra or which one?
Vidya.
Brahma Vidya is this one. Whatever we are doing is called as Brahma Vidya only.
Oh, because I thought it is different from Lord Shiva was giving Brahma Vidya.
It is Brahma Vidya. It's a similar. It is a Atma Vidya is also called as Brahma Vidya. That's all.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought no,
there is no separate textbook called as the Brahma Vidya. I mentioned about another text which is called as Brahma Jnana Valli, which I have already taken before. It is there in my website. I think you also attended that when we took it. You also attended. There is a text There is another text called as Brahma Jnana Valli. In that text, Shankaracharya makes that statement, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. So I was referring to that textbook only. So there is no, I mean, I've already taken that text before.
Okay. So one more thing, Secretary, this, as you were saying, we can see Brahma only in a waking state, not in the dream state. Why?
No, see, Brahman is there in all the states, okay? The state, whenever you say state, waking state, dream state, sleep state, the state belongs to the mind. Okay? Now, this knowledge, you will only get it, you will only absorb this knowledge as you study the Veda, as you study the Upanishad more and more, especially Mandukya Upanishad, you will know that there is something which is not a state at all. You see, it is your nature. Like fire. Fire, it is never cold, it is always hot. The nature of fire is hot. Whether today whether today or 10 years ago, 100 years ago, fire was always hot. So the nature of fire is hot. The nature of the sun is to shine. It is always shining. Only that we can't see the sun shining in the night. Okay. Now, what we are saying is, waking means I am, see, first of all, we must know that there is something in this body which is called as mind. I can't see the mind with my eyes. But the mind is there. This mind is waking. The mind is sleeping. This you should be able to realize it. When you say I am sleeping means what? My mind is sleeping. It's not that the consciousness, I'm sleeping. I am, when you say I am the pure Atma. See, what it means is, in the waking state, the mind is active, the sense organs are active, therefore, I get it confused. I am not, you see, the awareness is mixed up with the body, mind, emotions, all that. What the Veda says is, compare. In your own mind, you compare. See, you are there in the waking state, yes. Will you say, yes, I am there? All of us will say, I am there. In the dream state, will you say, I am there? You will say, yes, I am there in the dream state also. But in the dream state, there is some world which I am experiencing. I was very young. I know in the dream, I was 18 years old. I went and fell in love with a girl there. I got married, and there's so many things I watch in my dream. Okay, but that dream experience is unreal. It is not real. When do you realize that? When you wake up. So in the dream also there is something which was there, which continues in the waking. And then you look at the sleep state. In sleep, what happens? I don't experience this body. I don't experience a dream also. Very relaxed time. Very happy time. Nobody says he was tired of sleeping. Everybody loves sleep. You want to go back to sleep again. Why do you want to go back to sleep? Because it is tamasic. It is a guna of the mind. Rajas is a guna in the waking state. Tamas is in the sleep state. So it is Rajas and Tamas which is expressing. But there is a third state which is called a Sattvic state. That Sattvic state, I don't know till I come to the Veda. The Veda tells me that waking means I'm using my sense organs. Here, I means what? There is someone in this body which has taken birth in this body, which has entered this body when this body was in the womb of the mother. The jiva enters the body. That jiva is going through all these experiences and then it will take another body. So this jiva is realizing I am not body or this mind, but I am Atma. So your question is, you must first realize you have something called as the mind. See, body, you can see with your eyes. Oh, this is body. It is made up of panchabhutas. It is made up of, I come to know that this body is made up of 5 elements because the Veda teaches me that this body is made up of 5 elements. It has got the earth element, it has got the fire element, it has got the air element, it has got the space in it. It is only the 5, and these elements are what? They are inert. So there is a consciousness principle which is seeing this body. See, the body is inert. A dead body is also inert. But what makes this body conscious is something called as Atma. So that if you want to know what is that which makes this body active, what is it which makes the pranas active, it is this Atma. So in the waking state, I can't differentiate between Atma, mind, body. So Veda tells me, compare. That my mind can do. I know in my mind, in my sleep state, this is what is happening. I'm experiencing it. In the dream state, I know this is my experience. In the waking state, this is my experience. So I learn to differentiate the 3 states, and then I can realize my pure nature. Okay, anybody else?
Thank you,
Sekharji.
Thank you.
Sekhar?
Thank you, Sekharji.
Yeah, very good, Manikandan. Yeah, Chandra, you are saying something?
Yeah, how do you explain the transcendental state? Is it connected with the sense organs?
No. Transcendental state is the state of Atma in which it is not connected with anything in the universe except itself. Atma alone is. That is
Atma.
That is what is called as Atma.
Oh.
It is not connected with the body. It is not connected with the mind. It is alone is. That is how the Upanishads reveal Atma to me. Then I know that is what is called as Kaivalyam. Kaivalyam in Sanskrit means it alone is.
Oh.
So the person who has realized the truth, what will be his realization? I alone am.
Exists.
Okay, that is also put in another language. What is the second statement that Jnani will make? I alone appear as everything in the world.
Oh, he becomes the Atman.
Yes, it is the Atma. See, he is putting it in a different way. That's all.
Okay.
That is what is called as Sarvatma Bhava. Sarvatma Bhava means what? Everything is me. For example, the waker will say, everything in the dream is nothing but me.
Oh, yeah.
And he will say, I alone was there in dream.
Okay. So good. But why do you use the transcendental stage?
The word transcendental is used for the waker to drop his wakerhood and know his higher status
Oh,
called as Atma.
conscious level, isn't it?
Yes, I am the pure consciousness. I'm not a consciousness with the body, with the mind, as I experience in the waking state. I am not the one in the dream state, which I am experiencing only with the mind, where the sense organs are not active, but the mind is active, semi-passive condition.
Right.
Then the third stage is when the mind also becomes quiet. There are no thoughts at all during the sleep state. That quietness which is experienced is also me. It is I alone.
Oh, I see, I see. Thank you.
I am that Sakshi of that quiet mind.
I see, I see. You
Ah,
become the Brahman, isn't it?
yeah, that is what is called as Brahman.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks a lot.
Very good. You have hit the absolute truth. Your intellect has absorbed the truth. I can see it.
Thank you so much. Your discussion today was very wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very good. I'm glad people are able to go so deep into this knowledge. Any other
Thank you.
questions?
Yes, Sagarji, I have one question.
Yeah,
Which
go ahead, Manikant.
when we are saying that when we are in womb, it means before we birth, when we are in the womb, is that state is equivalent to the sleep state, or do we have the dream or waking and sleep stage inside the womb also?
Okay, good question. See, even in the womb, the mind is there. The jiva always comes with the mind in a subtle form. It is not developed, but the jiva comes with a subtle mind. So, in the womb, also it is the jiva who is ignorant. Ignorant jiva is traveling from one body to another body. Aitareya Upanishad says that Vamadeva, when he was in the womb of his mother, his father was teaching somebody Brahma Vidya outside. And he heard his father in the womb teaching Brahma Vidya to someone, and he got liberated.
Okay. That's what many people are saying
Answer
during.
your question. In the womb also, the child has got a very rudimentary mind. It may not be able to go through the dream, sleep, and waking like a mind which is a born baby's mind.
Okay.
But what you should remember is, even in that state when the child is in the womb, consciousness is revealing, consciousness is the illumining factor. It is changeless. See, the most important point you should remember Atma Vidya, which you should meditate. Because, see, this is a topic which has to be meditated. It is the word called as Nitya. See, normally, a human being can never grasp what is Nityam. You know, the intellect miserably fails to understand this word called as Nityam. Because everything which we experience is Anityam. But the Upanishad says, you are Nityam. I, the consciousness, am eternal, immortal. When you remember this throughout your life, try to do it, because this is the only way this truth can go into your subconscious mind. I am the consciousness. I have no changes at all. I have no modifications. I am that principle, which is the truth revealed by the Veda. I am not depending on my eyes. I am not depending on the knowledge of any textbook, nothing. It is the Veda. It is immortal. It is itself, it is eternal. Now, that is telling me there is something called as Atma, which is changeless. Now, I hold on to that principle. Okay, my intellect cannot understand this today. I'm not able to see it. I'm not able to even imagine such a thing. But let your intellect get exposed to this. What will happen to you is your intellect will say, I am Atma one day. Rest of the knowledge of the Upanishad, let it come. It will tell about all knowledge of Anatma only. Knowledge of Atma is only one. It is eternal, it is Nitya, it is changeless. When your intellect absorbs this knowledge, you will be able to say, I am Atma, I am not Anatma. That is the final leap in this Brahma Vidya. Okay, so Manikandan, good question, but it needs a little bit more explanation, especially on Mahavakya. The moment the intellect grasps Mahavakya, you're home. I mean, there is nothing else, because you see, all your doubts go away. No?
Thank you, Secretary. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll close today. And we'll begin. We'll start the next session of Keno Upanishad on the 11th of February, Saturday evening, same time. Thank you and good night.
Okay, Shekharji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice trip.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Shekharji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shekharji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wish you a safe journey.
Thank you.
Happy one.
Thank you.